Hi, I'm Leiann King, and I'd like to welcome you once again to the Aroma Share Club. It is October 2014, and we are making yummy things this month. And we are going to make a no-bake carrot cake. I just love doing no-bake recipes. I love them because they're so easy. So with my food processor, the first thing I asked you guys to do is in your honey or maple syrup. So I have 3 tablespoons of honey here, and I'm going to do my touch. Now, for those of you who haven't seen any of these videos before, a touch of an essential oil is not a drop. It is where you take a toothpick and you put it in your bottle like this, and you get some essential oils on there. I always want to put our lid back on. And then we take it and we stir it in our honey or whatever it is that we're mixing it in. And we especially want to do this when we are doing very strong oils, such as clove and cinnamon, which is what we are using on this recipe today. Now, those of you who are using blood thinners, please substitute your clove oil with just some clove powder, 1/4 a teaspoon. Okay, so now I forgot which end. Okay, so I'm going to mix that in, and usually a touch is enough. If you like super spicy stuff like me, then you might want to add more later, but that's usually good. Now, let's see, I need spatula and maybe a wooden spoon. Okay. Alright, so I have buttered my pan right here, and then I put my essential oils in my honey, and I'm going to set that aside for right now. Then I'm going to put my carrots. Now this is just 1 cup of carrots chopped, and I'm going to put that in the food processor. And then I'm going to chop those up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and add my nuts because I did not pre-chop these. So what I did for my recipe is I soaked 2 cups of almonds because I just love soaked almonds. And so I'm going to put them in here with the carrots when I'm chopping them up because I did not pre-chop them. I just like to do things as easy as possible, as few steps as possible. Now we're just doing it a couple times, just to chop up those carrots into a little bit smaller chunks. And I'm going to check that. That looks fairly good. You still want to see a little bit of chunks of things in here. And then after we've done that, then we add the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to add, and this is going to give you your moisture and have it go into like a dough. So we're going to add, for our moisture, we have a cup of raisins. And then we have a 1/2 cup of unsweetened coconut, shredded coconut. And then, just for extra flavor, we have a tablespoon of raw sunflower seeds. And then we're going to add our honey and essential oil mixture. And I usually like to put a little bit of butter in my container when I measure out my honey, and I didn't do that, so now it's having a hard time getting out of here. There we go, and I'll probably have to mix this in pretty good with a spatula later on. And then I'm going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla, and you can tell I'm from old school. Capful is a teaspoon as far as I'm concerned. Love the smell of good real vanilla. Okay, now I'm going to mix this all up. mix this up anymore. It's still pretty powdery, and I want it to be more like cookie dough. So, I need to add a little bit of water because it is just not mixing up how I want to. So, let me go over here. You may not be able to see me, but I'm getting some water, some filtered water from my daughter's kitchen, and I am going to add about 2 tablespoons and then grind it again. And see how this is going. It's still a little too dry for me, so I'm going to add some more water. It's really important when you're using essential oils that you use a tiny bit at first. You can always add more later, but if you add too much, and I know some of you who made my spearmint lemonade, you guys learned that the hard way. Oh, she can't possibly need 1 drop for a whole pitcher of lemonade, and yes I did. I'm just going to let this go just a little while longer because I don't want to over chop it. Then you can't see all the yummy carrots and stuff like that in here. Alright, so now what we do is this will set up more as we have it in the fridge, because we are going to stick this in the fridge. And this smells just right. I don't think I'm going to add any more essential oils. But if you wanted to add more, now would be the time, or you could have added it when you were adding the extra water. You could have put a drop, a touch, of essential oils mixed in that water before you put it in there, after you tasted it. So, we have mixed this all up, and now we're going to press it into this. And it is going to be so yummy. Got all those yummy ingredients in here. And not only is it yummy, it is so good for you. Giving you those yummy carrots. And I wanted to remind you, I don't remember if I told you at the very beginning of this video, that if you, I think I did, but it isn't going to hurt, to be too safe. I want you, if you are taking blood thinners, I want you to make sure that you use clove powdered herb, 1/4 teaspoon for every touch that you would put in, instead of the clove bud oil. And then just use your cinnamon oil to flavor the rest of it. Okay, so now we have our layer of our cake. And now we're going to make some frosting. And I'm going to get some of these things out of your guys' way. I know this is a little bit more complicated. I don't think it's too complicated recipe than we normally do on Aroma Share Club, because we try to make it really quick and easy. But I don't think this was too bad. Let me get this out of your way. And we're going to bring the blender back. And now we're going to make our frosting. And it's sort of like a mock cream cheese frosting. For those of you who might have dairy issues or something like that, I have grandchildren that are allergic to dairy, so I have to be really careful. So here I have a cup of cashews that I've been soaking for at least 2 hours. It's been about 2 hours. So I have those in here. And then I have 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. You can use the bottled lemon juice if you have to. And then I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of raw honey, or you can use the maple syrup. And I am just going to guess on this. That's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. And then we are going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla, or a capful, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to put in a drop of either lemon or orange oil, whatever flavor I want in my frosting. So I put orange in mine. And then I'm going to blend this up. You'll have to probably stop your blender and mix that in a little bit, because you want it to be like frosting. And this still is a little bit too chunky for me. I want it creamy. So I am going to blend this up some more.